I've said since we saw the pairings a week ago that this was going to be a good basketball game. Good rivalry. Armour at 17-4. DeSmet comes in at 20-2. And as we saw with Jensen in that game before, another player to watch in this one, Josh McNames.
Yeah, he's a good one. When we flipped, Tom won the flip, and he wanted this game. Wade Fisher's our PA man, the Bulldogs and the Packers. Let's meet him.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the final game of today's first round. This evening's game, we have the Bulldogs of DeSmet High School and the Packers of Armour High School. Now the starting lineups. First, the cheerleaders for the DeSmet Bulldogs. Jessica Bose, Tracy Kretschmer, Leah Twite, Vicki Wilkinson, Kim Burgers, Brittany Jansen. And now the reserve players for the Bulldogs of DeSmet High School. Mike Burgers, Josh Palmer, Buddy Vincent, Aaron Martin, Darren Larson, Nolan Wacko, Mark Wilkinson. And now the starting lineup for the DeSmet Bulldogs. Starting at one guard, number 23, Josh McNames. At another guard, number 55, Barry Heen. At one forward, number 15, Adam Dannenbring. At another forward, number 21, Jeremy Dobson. And at center, number 41, Ross Cruz. Head coach Marv McCune, assistants Pat Wheeler, Troy Sturgeon, and Dave Carmen. Now the cheerleaders for the Armour Packers. Sarah Wonder, Robin Fink, Amy Hornstra, Paula Semler, Tanya Remnitz. Now the reserve players for the Armour Packers. Dean Voigt, Chris Pfeiffer, Matt D. Ward, Jason Peters, Lyle Johnson, Matt Sparks, Matt Ernster. And now the starting lineups for the Armour Packers. Starting at one guard, number 10, Austin Ledebor. At another guard, number 22, Chris Peters. At one forward, number 32, Tony Knorr. At another forward, number 42, Brandon Sanders. And at center, number 44, Jeremy Larson. Head coach Bernell Glanzer, assistant Ron Weber. Officials for this evening's contest are Keith Kusler and Marty Wisemantle.
Well, Tom, I know when the Armour Packers were introduced, and one of the things we talked with Bernell Glanzer about is the kids went out in order, sophomore, freshman, to go along with the two seniors, Sanders and Larson.
Sophomore at the guard, where on the other side of the floor it's senior in McNames and Dobson, and that is going to be a tough matchup for the Armour guards tonight.
Yeah, in Class B, we just saw the premier post player do his thing, Chris Jansen. We're about to see the premier point guard do his thing, and that is Josh McNames, and that's what Coach Glanzer and the Packers have been concentrating on. Of course, there's still three other players that average in double figures, but Josh makes it all work.
Sanders and Ross Cruz tip it off, in Armour in the Missouri-style looking uniforms in the yellow. And this is Brandon Sanders, the senior. He averages about 24 a game, and off to the good start.
Terrific ball player, leading scorer, leading rebounder, 31 blocks. It's 60% of his three-point shots and 55 overall. Brandon Sanders, without a doubt, the top offensive gun for the Pack.
Adam Dannenbring 6'1" senior. Dannenbring, Dobson, McNames, Ross Cruz, and Barry Hine as the starters. This is Hine applying a little pressure. Brandon Sanders, Austin Ledebor, Chris Peters inside to Jeremy Larson, who plays center for the Packers. Foul's going to go on Ross Cruz. Good look at Burnell Glanzer. I about said his brother's name, but Burnell in his 20th year with the Packers now. Outstanding record, 385 wins in 20 years in Armour.
And only 65 the other way, so that, you're right, that is good. State champions. How can anyone who follows basketball and has been around in South Dakota not know about the Armour Packer teams, those awesome teams in the late 70s?
Won the state title in 78, 79. The Tiefenthalers and the Friedel's. So both no-goes for Jeremy Larson, and McNames and the Bulldogs will set up shop at the other end. This is Hine. We're working against the 1-3-1 zone. Josh McNames averages 10 assists, 5 steals.
And there's a rebound.
They go along with 16 points a game, and this is Hine. Not going to go. Cruz at about 6'3" in there in the middle. Brandon Sanders, the tallest player on the floor, at 6'4" for Armour. 32 is Tony Noor, just a freshman.
Kind of an interesting coaching matchup, too, the battle of the veterans.
Sanders with 5, and it's 5-2 Armour. Yeah, Marv McCune, no stranger to South Dakota, 13th year at DeSmet.
As a head coach, he's been there 17 years.
Dannenbring has 4.
In fact, DeSmet no stranger to the state tournament. 17 total appearances in the state, 16 in the Class B, 1 in the A, a foul by Hine. 7 of the last 10 years in the last 4 years in a row, DeSmet has been at state.
4 straight tournaments. That is something. 20-2 on the year. They lost to Clark early in the season. They also lost to state A runner-up Howard. But they will put on the pressure with Dobson and Hines and McNames. And this is one of those sophomores, Chris Peters for Armour. Larson to Sanders. And Austin Ledebor whistled for walking.
DeSmet, I think, well, I'm pretty sure, I think I know they play the toughest schedule of the Bees. They play Howard and Flander and Madison and Wessington Springs, Sioux Valley, all Class A schools. But DeSmet really, and Coach Marv McCune says, I think we need to keep those kids on, or those teams rather, on our schedules, because we're always on the edge of being Class B or Class A.
About every 4 years they switch over, they realign, and they were in A not too long ago. Here's McNames looking at the pass to Jeremy Dobson, the hoop and the fouls.
Josh McNames owns every possible assist record for DeSmet. That's why averages 10 a game. This kid has terrific court sense and where his teammates are. And of course, after getting bonked on the head a few times, Dobson and Dannenbring and Cruz and Hine know to look when McNames has the ball.
The excellent movement without the ball from Jeremy Dobson, kind of a slippery player, McCune calls him. He goes unnoticed really because McNames and Cruz get so much of the attention defensively, but Dobson at 14 points a game, and there is the steal that leads to so many easy points for DeSmet.
Josh McNames also almost 5 steals a game. Of course, one of the key members from the state tournament team for Armour last year was Ryan Van Zee. He was a Mr. Basketball finalist, and the team had a little adjustment and try to figure out what to do without the big guy in there.
Barry Hine got it up on the rim, but it rolls off. We're going to get a little bit of a rollover foul on Hine. Going after the loose ball. I think Larson's okay, despite the grimace.
Larson in the second half of the season really has come alive, I guess, as the way Coach Glanzer said it. Smarts just a hair as Hine rolled up on his leg in the victory over Corsica.
That's 2 quick fouls on Hine. Number 25 is Buddy Vincent, a junior, into the game to replace Barry. Aaron Larson is also in the ball game for DeSmet. He will draw the defensive assignment on Sanders as Austin Ledebor sets the offense, and they got him for dragging the foot. So McNames will run it back. DeSmet with a 6-5 lead about 3 minutes into the ball game. Inside to Cruz and taken away by Ledebor. This is Larson. And the rim is unkind to the Packers. So McNames will shake him up outside and just give the little dish to Darren Larson.
He is fun to watch. You can't really tell because the dogs have those long pants on, but you should see the set of thighs on McNames.
He is an Iron Man. Marv McCune says he can't remember a game that he didn't play 40 minutes or 32 minutes.
Oh! They'll call McNames for the foul anyway.
Ledebor, I believe, for the step in. No, it's going to go on McNames.
There's a timeout on the floor, and we'll go back to Stacy Bauer, who's standing by in Sioux Falls. Give us an update, Stacy.
Oh, it was so exciting I couldn't even turn around. There's like 3 seconds left in this game. Aberdeen and Rapid City. Stevens, 76-72 Stevens. Eric Piakowski, but his brother Troy Piakowski's had 31 points in this game. Looks like Stevens is going to come out on top in this one. So keep it right here, but I think Stevens might pull ahead and win this one.
Well, we have a couple of seconds, and it looks like the teams are going to go out on the floor. Let's just step aside and take a look once, Stace. Tell us what's happening.
Sounds good to me. That's a sign of how things have been down here. It's been a very physical game, a lot of fouls.
Thank you, Stacy, and we are back. And as she mentioned, she has a feel for what's going on, and she feels that Stevens will go. That game is in overtime, so if indeed Stevens does win, Rapid City will join Spearfish and Lincoln in the semifinals.
Back at the B, the Bulldogs up by 3 early in the ball game. 4 minutes into the first quarter, 8-5. DeSmet leading the Armour Packers. Armour with those softs at the guard positions. Ledebor, this is Chris Peters, the other guard, to his running mate Ledebor. And the iron is a little tight down there at the Armour end, and it's going to stay down there.
Yeah, Marv.
Good reaction shot of Marv, huh?
Oh, hey, there's 3. You know, we are one of those guys poked it away, he thought, but 3 of his players right around it.
Tried to run it for Knorr. And Peters will set it up. A little shake, good left-handed dribble, and the scoop to Knorr. That's good offense.
The freshman with the bucket. Tom, Stacy was right. Stevens wins it by the final score of 76-72. That was in overtime.
8-7 Armour. Or 8-7 DeSmet, rather. There's time remaining, first quarter. A lob to Cruz. And Ross Cruz with his first 2 of the game. 10-7. DeSmet, and they'll apply the man-to-man pressure. McNames along with Larson. They'll try the run and jump, but there's the dish again to Knorr, who connects for the second straight time down the floor. 4 for Tony Knorr.
Your typical freshman is Tony Knorr. He needs a little space to get off his shot, but he was wide open, and he nailed that last one.
Dobson drugged that left foot, pivot foot.
And once again, Marv McCune, there's you looking at Coach Clanzer, but Marv jumped off trying to figure out where the travel was.
Both of these guys, we could put cameras on them and we wouldn't know what the score was going to be in the game. You wouldn't know who was winning. Peters guarded by Darren Larson, 10-9. DeSmet clinging to that 1-point lead. This is Jeremy Larson. And he got the roll, 2 for Jeremy to give Armour its first lead at 11-10.
That was a pretty good pass, too. Sanders did not have the ball in his hands very long. He rifled it down low quickly.
Darren Larson, McNames. To It was running mate Jeremy Dobson, and somebody got a piece of it down there. I think it was Noor, but the rebound to Darren Larson. And they get Dannenbring for the walk.
Again, Stevens advances in the AA. 76-72 in overtime over Aberdeen. Troy Piakowski, 31 points.
Barry Hine back in with those 2 fouls for DeSmet. As you look at Ledemore and Josh McNames in their head-to-head battle. Chris Peters, the lefty with the pull-up, his first 2, and Armour opens up a 3-point lead, and this is Dannenbring right back at him. 6 points for Adam Dannenbring, and it's 13-12 Armour.
You know, Dannenbring, I guess if you go by paper, is the only starter who doesn't average in double figures, but he's just almost right at 10 and can score big.
There's a block by McNames on the freshman McNoor. The head pass ahead.
Sanders.
Dannenbring blocked by Sanders, but they're going to get him with the body foul. Or will they?
Yeah, it was Sanders who blocked Dannenbring, and as they tried to go back, as we look at the replay, you can look at some scores. Kansas moves on. Texas will in the second half as well. Overtime game. Did you pick that one right?
I got that one. Got that one.
That's a good old-fashioned hinder spanking.
102. Back at the B at the Barnett Center. 13-12. Armour with a lead. 1:20 to go. Barry Hine ahead to Josh McNames. We'll see if he gives it back. No, Josh all by himself. First 2 for Josh.
And McNames started it all by knocking the pass away or taking it away from Peters on the other end.
Larson all the way to Noor. And Antonio back it back out. Very poised for a freshman. Makes good decision, as coach says. Decisions on the floor. 34 for Armour as Matt Sparks as the 3 by Sanders goes awry. McNames looked one way, went the other to Dobson. Swatted off the glass by Sanders, and the Armours think they have a break, but it's 2-on-3. Sanders with a little juke. And they get Dannenbring for his second.
The Pack wanted to get the running game going early in the game against DeSmet, so I think Armour so far has done a pretty good job, Tom, of recognizing when it's time to push the basketball, and there was a case when I think it was a pretty good opportunity to get the ball up the floor, and it helped with that second foul on Dannenbring.
Larson. Out at 4 for Jeremy Larson. 25 seconds to play. First quarter, Armour in a back and forth game, up by 1. McNames will pull it out and play for 1 shot. Gotta believe they'll let him dribble and create and maybe get Dobson for the 3-pointer. Hine at the other wing.
Ledemore on the D.
Right by him. He got to the rim where he wanted, but Armour will hang on to the lead to end quarter number 1, 15-14.
Each year, your community Norwest banks awards 74 $1,000 college scholarships to deserving high school seniors. During these tournaments, we're announcing this year's winners.
This year, visit the incredible Mammoth site at Hot Springs and congratulate our winners, Aaron McKinstry and Elizabeth Simonik.
And don't forget to visit the historic Dells in Del Rapids, where our scholarship winners are Lisa Schwabach and John Pullman.
From beautiful Big Stone Lake at Millbank, we're proud of this year's winners, Heather Pinkert and James Raymond.
In Rapid City, home to many great faces and great places, 2 of our winners are Brooke Weaver and Jennifer Herbst.
And we're proud to congratulate 2 more winners, Tanya Pavick and Amanda Sampson.
The Norwest Community Scholarship Program from your community Norwest Bank.
One quarter down, Armour on top by a point, 15-14 in a very evenly played first 8 minutes. As the Thursday night crazies get after it. 51 into the game for the Packers.
Behind just a little off on his shot. He has 45 three-pointers coming into this game.
Sanders. 7 for Brandon Sanders, and a 3-point lead now for Armour.
Strength of Sanders' game is versatility. We've seen it all in the first almost 9 minutes of this game. He's got a couple of blocks, hit some jump shots.
51 down low for DeSmet is Mark Wilkinson. McName's trying to create. And that is pretty.
Accomplished.
Watching in Sioux Falls, fans might remember Derek Martin, who played for the Skyforce. That move there just reminded me a little bit of the way he would spin and go to the rim. This is Hine. Strong, ripped down by Larson. Armour with a 1-point lead and the ball. And Jeremy.
Someone just
taking
missed the
advantage.
defensive assignment. Yeah. Someone just forgot to step up.
McName's fouled on the way up. It'll go on Chris Peters. As Ross Cruz gets a little tender love and care from the student trainer.
Through the first quarter, both teams shooting pretty well. Armour 58%, and from the floor, DeSmet 54%. Pack have knocked down one three-pointer. That was Sanders. Rebounds close, just one off there, and turnovers close, just one difference there. That's why there was 1 point different on the scoreboard.
In that last break, Marv McCune was telling his DeSmet players, we want to get into a flow. We should have break after break on these guys. Dobson a little long off the back of the iron, and there's McNames.
And another blocking foul would be called against McNames, and Coach Glanzer does not like it. McNames the last couple of times has got 2 quick fouls on Peters, both on the same type of a situation.
Burnell asking what's he have to do?
He has to keep his feet in one place.
That's right, he's got to be there.
Good call.
McName's not looking for the 3-point shot yet. So he can hit that one straight away with the best of them. This is Dannenbring, and it's knocked away inside by Matt Sparks. So Peters on the attack. Sparks from about 10 feet. Matt gets in the score column, and it's a 21-16 Armour lead. And the Bulldogs turn it over again.
Pass just too high. Larson could do nothing about it.
They're going to call Ledebor for the travel. And the Bulldogs want a timeout, down by 5.
Tonight, a family near you may sleep a little better than they did the night before, simply because someone cared and listened to their financial dreams about college for their kids, providing for each other, and their plans for growing old together. They talked to a Farm Bureau agent about life insurance and learned how dreams don't always have to stay dreams. Life is filled with promises, and Farm Bureau Life Insurance can help you keep them.
McKinnon Hospital's Caring for Life series presents this medical moment.
Peggy Thies, her 2-year-old triplets, and new baby are all proof that ovarian cancer doesn't have to be deadly. Peggy was diagnosed early and received treatment at McKinnon Hospital by one of the region's gynecologic oncologists, Dr. Samir Abu-Ghazala. Learn more about your choices in cancer care. Contact the Dakota Midwest Cancer Institute on the campus of McKinnon Hospital.
This medical moment is brought to you by McKinnon Hospital because we care about your life.
Packer fans,
Packer backers,
glad to have you here. Glad to have you along with us on the statewide telecast as Armour has opened up a bit of a lead here on DeSmet in the first quarter. 5:28 to play, first half. 21-16, the Packers on top.
Armour out 6-2 in this second quarter.
McNames pull up. Oh. Sanders rebound. Larson. It's taken away by Dobson ahead to Hine. He's got McNames with him, but there's what they want Barry Hine to do. Finish on the break. He averages 12 points a game.
I think Barry has to feel good that that first one went in. He had 3 threes and another breakaway type of layup similar to that did not go in.
KU advances at the national tournament, as do the Longhorns. Alabama in overtime beat the Quakers. And that's finally a final. St. Mary's will be happy about that. Dannenbrink couldn't get it to go.
Adam had to watch it. He has got 2 personal fouls, and he almost picked up his third trying to go for that second shot opportunity.
Ross Cruz back in, and Darren Larson out for the Dogs. 4:28 to play, first half. 3-point game. Armour on top, 21-18. McNames will trigger it in. This is Hine from behind the line, and it's good for Barry. 5 quick ones for Barry Hine, and he ties it up.
The 46th three-pointer for Hine. I think that's more than anyone else in Turney coming in.
Barry, kind of the character on the Bulldog squad, makes his own commercial as Sanders scores.
Good ball movement. The Armour Packers, when they're running their offense right, Coach Glanzer says we're kicking the ball around. We're moving it around offensively, and that's what worked as Sanders was open.
Cruz was hacked inside. Ledabor gets the foul.
(17-4), Coach Glanzer's team. Platt, Mitchell Christian, Stickney, and Parkston all have topped the Armour Packers. In fact, in the Stickney game, he said that is the worst game we played this year.
Kreitlow and the boys got to him that night. Cruz misses the first. Ross, 6'3", just a junior. Three points for Ross Cruz. He pulls his team within 1. 3:55 to play, first half.
Right now, there are people in your area working to keep your home comfortable all year long. There are people helping others in times of need, changing the way we think about energy conservation, and even helping farmers to dry their crops. It may not seem like much until you learn it's the same group of people doing all these things. Your electric cooperative. We're not just electricity anymore. Surprised?
Keeping our children healthy, it's a necessity, it's a challenge, and it's just become easier. With the introduction of the South Dakota Children's Hospital and Specialty Clinics at Sioux Valley Hospital, we've created the region's most comprehensive network of children's health services, from clinical care to prevention and education. Now available through a single convenient resource at Sioux Valley. South Dakota Children's Hospital and Specialty Clinics, keeping kids healthy in every way.
The guys in gold lead it by 1, 23-22. Armour on top of DeSmet. Second quarter halfway through. Hasn't been more than about a 3-point advantage either way. As the sophomore Austin Ledabor brings it up against Barry Hine. There's the jump and run that DeSmet will throw at you. This is the other soft. Chris Peters won't go. And McNames will push it hard the other way. Josh averages 16, just 4 to this point, but he does have a couple of assists, and the walk will send it back down to Packerland. Eureka and Tulare moved on this afternoon. Emory behind a huge performance out of Chris Jensen. 32 in that win over Zucchini in the first round tonight.
Larson with a nice soft jump shot. Both Larson and Sanders have shown in this game real nice ability to hit that what is sometimes a tough shot 6 to 8 feet away.
Jeremy Larson has 8, and his team back up by 3. Barry Heim with the pull-up from 15. Runs it back down. You see Burnell Glanzer there at the top of your screen. He wanted to push off on Heim. Barry playing with those 2 fouls, as is Adam Dannenbring, and this is Dobson on the pull-up. Ripped down by Larson, who's playing an excellent first half. McNames to the rim, and that is his game. 6 points for Josh. Took it right away.
Almost faked like a double team, and then McNames stepped right back and into the passing lane of that bounce pass.
Yeah, the one thing that Ledebor and Peters don't want to do is get too close like that. And Jeremy Larson was 6 in the quarter, 10 in the game. Armour back up by 3, 2:10 to play, first half. Barry Hine hit one from the corner before, but Sanders rips it down. And Armour will try to extend that lead. Peters on the attack. McNames with a hand on it again. This is Ledebor. Nice pass to Brandon Sanders.
More impressive than the pass, I think, was the catch, and Sanders being able to control that. It's in tight quarters, and if you don't catch it right away, it's usually hard to control it. But Sanders with some nice soft hands and a really, really nice move, pretty move.
You're driving the dish. The big guys will love you if you're a D&D man. And Dobson at the other end, he has 4. And McCune's team back within 3. And if I knew what happened, I'd tell you, but Burnell wanted an explanation.
It was a 5-second call.
5 seconds on the inbound. So the Dogs will take it out. McNames underneath.
I was writing something down in the book, but without a foul and without a pass in, there's nothing else it could have been.
Armour down 3. 1:10 to play before halftime. Again at the half, we'll go back to Sioux Falls to see how Mitchell and Sioux Falls Roosevelt are coming along. Ross Cruz with the spin, but it won't go, and Sanders again with a rebound. Under a minute now to play, first half. Armour with a 3-point lead in the ball.
You know, DeSmet likes to do a little full court stuff or half court trapping things too, but not shooting all that great. They haven't been able to do it in the second quarter.
Nice post D by Darren Larson with the steal. And with a 3, DeSmet could tie it up, but McNames will run it down. A look away pass to Cruz, and they almost get within 1, but who's got the rebound but Dobson? And on the 3rd attempt, the Dogs cash it in. 6 for Dobson, and it's a 1-point game. There's the time remaining before halftime. Close to a 10-second call. Look at that pass by McNames from his knees. Ledebor comes away with it. Sanders is going to get a shot off at the buzzer. Good if it goes. And in a wild finish to the second quarter, Armour hanging on to a 1-point lead. And I believe that is Jeremy Dobson on the floor. He got kicked in the head on that last exchange. Going for the loose ball. Armour on top by 1. That means we'll talk to Burnell Glanzer. Lee?
All right, Burnell, it's been pretty up and back. Just what did you see in that first half, and what do you need to talk about at halftime?
It's just what we said before the game. Every time we don't turn the ball over and run our offense down here, we get good shots and score. But when we get in a flurry of turnovers, then they make the comeback. You know, we've been up by 5 a couple times, and then we turn it over in front, and down they go. So, you know, we got to control that.
And you've done a pretty decent job, I think, defensively as well. I mean, missing a couple, but Sanders is doing a good job, and I think Larson's also played a good first half, a solid first half.
Well, they have. Like I say, DeSmet's best offense has been our offense, and we've turned the ball over and let them go. It's hard to play defense on a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2 layup.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
You know, his team's still ahead, right? By a point. We'll be back.
Your community Norwest Bank is helping make college possible for hundreds of students across South Dakota and southwestern Minnesota. Here are some of the winners in this year's Community Scholarship Program.
In South Dakota's capital city on the river, our winners at Pier this year are Matt Fries and Christy Hallock.
From Rapid City, host to over 2 million visitors each year, we salute one pair of our winners, Jean Elder and Jennifer Seeger.
We're proud to announce 2 additional winners from Sioux Falls, Michael Zelensky and Mara Lockwood. Congratulations.
And in Sturgis, we're ready to rally around our winners. They are Christy Remick and Kristen Waterland.
From the shores of Lewis and Clark Lake in Yankton, home of Mount Marty College, we congratulate our winners, Sarah Barnes and Scott Young.
The Norwest Community Scholarship Program from your Community Norwest Bank.
There is a symbol that stands for the togetherness of all people. It is the circle. To the Lakota, it represents life, timeless, flowing, with no beginning and no end. If our circle becomes broken, we must mend it. I want each of you to remember this. Keep your circle strong. Say no to drugs and alcohol.
Your Ford dealer puts a lot of standard equipment into every F-150 pickup, like a driver's side airbag, rear anti-lock brakes, a powerful 4.9-liter engine, a bigger payload than Dodge, and more torque than Chevy. And now, with over $2,900 in package savings, your Northland Ford dealer can put you in an F-150 for just $199 a month for 24 months. So get into the truck we put the world in, the Ford F-150, only from the Truck Authority.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Kelloland, ooh, it's so good.
This is why Jeremy Dobson was holding his head as they walked off at the end of the first half. He gets hung up there with Jeremy Larson, but I don't know if that's a neck injury or what happened exactly there. We'll check on that and get it back to you right now. We've got one more game, one more half to finish up here. There's also another one going on down at Sioux Falls. Stacy Bowers still hanging in there for game number 4. It is Sioux Falls Roosevelt and the Mitchell Colonels. And Stace, what's going on down there at the AA?
Well, they're just introducing the players for the Sioux Falls Roosevelt and Mitchell game, which of course is late because of the overtime game between Rapid City Stevens and Aberdeen, and that turned out to be a really exciting game. Troy Payakowski put the game into overtime with a 3-pointer, and he had 31 points in this game. And he's standing by with me right here. He just walked up here. Troy, tell me, what was it like coming from behind? I mean, you were down most of the game.
Well, we knew we could do it. It's just we weren't playing to our potential in the first half, and I didn't see the ball very much in the first quarter or the second. I just asked for the ball, and what came to me just came, and that's the way it was.
How important do you think it was for you to step it up in this one?
I figured I had to do something because at the end of the season, I've seen 7 boxing ones. I mean, it's nothing new for me. I just felt I had to step up and do the job.
Okay, thanks, Troy. Good game. Like I said, that was an outstanding game that went into overtime. Sioux Falls Roosevelt and Mitchell just about to tip off. I'm staying courtside. I'm not going anywhere.
All right, Stace, thanks for those updates all day. We'll get back to you for that Roosevelt and Mitchell game right here. We've got the second half of Armour and DeSmet. We're going to take a break right now. Join us after that from the B at the Barnett Center. We'll be right back.
Shopping for your next car? Why not America's quality and value leader, Buick? America, America. Best in class, family car of the year, first for safety, solid American value. Buick, the new symbol for quality in America and in the upper Midwest.
Sea to shining sea.
Things have changed around here since 1965.
Some got bigger, some got better, but some got it right from the start. Like Banvel. After 30 years, it's still the broadleaf herbicide for corn. Still the one that lasts from spike to canopy. Sure, things have changed in 30 years. Banvel just hasn't needed to. Banvel, 30 years and still the best.
Why get an education? Employers hire skilled and experienced workers. Get an education and get employed.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Ice cold milk. Help yourself. Cold drinks are like basketball players. They can be tall, they can be smooth, but it takes a great one to dunk. Ice cold milk. Help yourself. Brought to you by your local dairy farmers.
Tammy Strike has tips and techniques for feeling good Wednesdays on the Early News.
Back at the B right now, let's go to PA announcer Wade Fisher for our Band of the Day announcement. Wade?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to direct your attention to the area in front of the band. The tournament band that has been playing for today's sessions of the state basketball tournament is the McLaughlin High School Band under the direction of Robin Pratt. In appreciation for the fine music the band has provided during the games, Kenneth Pickering, Assistant Executive Director of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, is now presenting to Robin Pratt, Director of the McLaughlin High School Band, a plaque to commemorate the day.
All right. We've got a second half coming up between Armour and DeSmet. It's 29-28. The Pack at the half. Back to the B after this.
On the one hand, we gave it a wider stance for better handling, a computer model suspension, and specially designed 16-inch tires. So, a pair of these could come in handy. On the other hand, we've thoughtfully designed each knob, button, and switch to be easily operated while you're wearing a pair of these. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed. At America's truck stop, the new Dodge.
In Aberdeen, it's a budding rock band. In Huron, it's their first batch of cookies. In Yankton, there are 520 people who call it a living. All across the Great Plains, we serve thousands of people in ways that make their lives easier, more rewarding, and more productive. You can call it fun, call it work, call it security, call it breakfast, call it what you will. We call it service. We're here for you. We're Northwestern Public Service Company.
McKinnon Hospital's Caring for Life series presents this medical moment.
Having a baby is a healthy part of life, not a medical condition. That's why making it a comfortable experience is a priority at the McKinnon Women's Center.
Well, we have added a lot of amenities in the room, and with a philosophy that we really want to pamper the women that are here to have their babies.
Although there's no place like home, we've designed our Women's Center to be a close second.
This medical moment is brought to you by McKinnon Hospital because we care about your life.
If you think being South Dakota owned and operated doesn't make a difference in your health plan, think again. Dakota Care, proven performance in managed care. Yes, we still have our ducks in a row.
The road to the Final Four begins right here, where I did, KELOLAND TV.
Take a look right now at the halftime stats on the Norwest board, and you'll see that Armour is really shooting the ball well. 14 out of 23 comes out to 61% for the Packers. Everything else pretty even. The free throw line not well traveled in the first half. Each team with a three-pointer. And right now we're going to go talk to DeSmet head coach Marv McHugh. Lee, take it away.
21 of their 29 points, so Armour's getting some work done inside, and I guess you talked about that a little bit, and just, I guess, what was your message on that first?
Well, from the tapes we saw going in, what we saw scouting, Larson hadn't scored that much from that high post area, and you know, they ran a little high-low, and he got a couple. We were sagging off and trying to help a little more on Sanders. They hit him, and he hit a couple shots out around the free throw line. And then basically we just broke down when their guards penetrated. Our post players stepped up, and that opened up the pass lane. Larson got a couple backdoor too.
Where do you find yourself getting going offensively?
We didn't move the basketball worth a darn. We had a 3-4 point lead, you know, and early in the first quarter there, and we just came down and didn't move the basketball. We had 5 shots where we took 1 pass and a shot.
Okay, thank you very much, Marv. We'll see how the second half plays out. We'll be right back for the second half. DeSmet and Armour in this State B. You're watching KELOLAND TV.
South Dakota Department of Agriculture's unusable pesticide collection program is a way for you to properly dispose of your unusable pesticides free of charge.
I was concerned that turning these pesticides in might get me in trouble for even having them, but that's simply not the way this program works. I was just glad to find a way to get rid of this stuff legally and free of charge.
Take advantage of this opportunity. Call your local extension agent or the Department of Agriculture's toll-free number and ask about the unusable pesticide disposal program today.
There are bounties in life you couldn't begin to measure, and yields that take a generation to know. For that other crop coming up, there's new Basis post-emergence herbicide. Basis is one-pass control of the grasses and broadleaves that worry you most for under $12 an acre, half the cost of most pre-programs. Basis, because life's a harvest, and corn isn't all you're raising.
There's your score as we get set for the third quarter. Some of the scoring individually. Nobody for DeSmet with more than 6 points. Dannenbring has 6. Dobson has 6. McNames with 6. They are the leaders. Barry Hine has a 3-pointer and a deuce for 5 points total. On the Armour side, Brandon Sanders with 11. He is their leading scorer, 24 a game. Jeremy Larson has 10 in the first half. He only averages 9, but Larson is playing an excellent ball game thus far. Tony Noor with 4. Chris Peters has 2, and Matt Sparks with 2 to add up to 29 for Armour, 28 for DeSmet. And as we get underway, we will find the original starting lineups back on the floor. Ledebor, Peters. This is Austin Ledebor, Tony Noor, Brandon Sanders, and Jeremy Larson for Armour. Dobson, Hine, Dannenbring, McNames, and Ross Cruz in the middle for the Bulldogs. Ledebor wouldn't get it to go, but there's his running mate, Chris Peters. Gets Armour started in the third, 31-28.
Sanders started that possession and stayed that possession in a total high post situation, so that helps open it up down low, which is where, of course, Ledebor scored.
McHugh wanted him to be a little more patient, and that is probably not the best shot in the world. But they made more than one pass, so hey.
Not too bad. 15-footer. He'll take that from Hine.
Stripped away by McNames, and Dobson comes up with it. Josh will run it to the corner for the break. Oh, they're going to count that one on the spin, and Chris Peters has got to be wondering what he's got to do to pick up a charge.
All 3 fouls against Chris Peters are because Josh McNames was going to the bucket. Now, that one looked, of the other 2 and of the 3, that one had much more of a look of a charge than did the first 2.
And that is exactly what Burnell Glanzer thought down there on the Packer bench as McNames goes to the line for his first attempt of the night. Josh, 71% on the season. 9 in the ball game for McNames, and he ties it up at 31. Just underway in the third quarter. Armour led it by 1 after 1, led it by 1 at the half. Sanders down low. Picks up where he left off. 13 so far for Brandon Sanders.
Sanders working low box that time. He's moved in and out, up and down quite a bit.
And
block.
Kuzler's going to call the block again. This one's going to go on Tony Noor.
Like Noor was just kind of standing there and got ran into. Pretty much what happened. They thought it was going to be charged.
I think Ross Cruz will step up. 1 out of 2 from the line in the first half. On the shooting foul, he'll get the second.
I think Armour in this game, Tom, has done a pretty good job of keeping control of the basketball, because DeSmet averages 13 steals a game. And all in all, not bad for the Pack, I don't think.
Packers by 1, 6:30 to play, third quarter. Sanders, nice pass down low to Peters, but it wouldn't go. Ross Cruz tears it down, and McNames will push. 16-footer, got it. 5 quick ones for Josh McNames. He's got 11. And there's the pressure. And there's the way to break it with Austin Ledamore. First points of the game for the sophomore. Armour back up by 1. McNames, and I think they're going to get Chris Peters again.
Chris is upset with that one. He was moving on that one. The last one, I thought, where he didn't argue all that much, was more of a charge than this one. Pretty clear. Peters on the move, and he has to try and guard McNames, and all 4 of his fouls came on McNames going to the basket.
So that's 4 on Peters.
Justin Peters now on McNames.
Armour up by 1. 5:30 on the clock in the third. This is Hine. Little pinball came right back to Barry, and he's struggling a little bit, frustrated with himself.
Well, not a very good shooting night for Hine. He had that 3-pointer in the second quarter, but he hit one other basket in the second period. But other than that, Hine has had a little trouble trying to find a hoop.
24 in the ball game to replace Chris Peters is Jason Peters, 5'9" junior. There's Jason.
Good pass.
Sanders has 15.
Very fine inlet pass.
Armour back up by 3 at 37-34. Marv McCune was yelling weak side, but it was just a little too late. Game's falling away, and no call. Brandon Sanders on the push back the other way, and it'll stay there as it goes off of Dobson.
Into the first quarter in the last AA game. Roosevelt 17, Mitchell 13. End of 1. Rough Riders by 4 over the Colonels.
Jason Peters gets by Hine. The dish to the corner, but it's taken away by Barry. Nice behind the back, and he makes sure on this one. And Barry has 7. Cuts the lead back to 1.
No turnovers. That's what Armour coach Bernal Glanzer told us yesterday. That's what made him a little upset when we talked at halftime. No turnovers. There's another.
Hine the beneficiary again. 4 quick ones for Barry, and DeSmet pulls into the lead at 38-37. Peters back the other way, and they're going to get him for the travel.
I know Coach Glanzer wanted a timeout, but you think he saved it till now because this is a TV timeout. Our television timeout comes at a good time for Armour.
4:06 to play in the third.
Sarah Nichols of Mobridge had a dream. She'd attend South Dakota State University and get her degree in economics. That's why she applied for a Norwest Community Scholarship. Now, she's our 300th $1,000 scholarship winner. And this fall, her dream will begin. The Norwest Community Scholarship Program. helping over 300 students achieve their dreams. Because nothing is impossible if someone, somewhere, believes in you.
The new Chevy Blazer is making headlines. Compare it to the competition and you'll find out why Motor Trend magazine named Blazer Truck of the Year. Call this toll-free number for a free Blazer video. The looks, ride, and handling of the redesigned Blazer are incredible. Popular options and an automatic and Ford Explorer will cost you over $1,700 more than Blazer. You want to pay extra for the sport utility that isn't Truck of the Year? Better check out the winner, Blazer. Like a rock, Chevy Blazer from your Heartland Chevy dealer.
During the break, Tom said their offense is their defense. They, meaning the Bulldogs. There's the defense with the steal, the pass ahead, and Hine was able to lay right in his second quick basket just like that off the steal to make it a one-point contest. And I was watching Coach Glanzer there, and he had his hands together with about 4:15 left on the clock, and he knows that the first dead ball at 4 is the TV timeout, so he put his hands right back down, waited 10 seconds, and got the timeout he wanted.
He's been in the tournament a few times, hasn't he? Tannenbring back in the ball game for the Bulldogs. McNames and Hine working it on the perimeter. Here's Josh. Jason Peters on him. Barry Hine feels like he's got the hot hand, and it's just not going for Barry, but Dobson fouled on his way back up.
This will be on Larson, number 44. Larson cut a lot of the wrist. We'll look again. Watch 44. He's behind, a man behind the play, so no doubt about that foul as Dobson was trying to go back up. Just the first, though, on Jeremy Larson.
Dobson at 14 points a game. He has 7 now in this one. And that puts DeSmet up by 3 at 40-37. 3:30 to play. Third quarter. There's your score from the second quarter down at the Sioux Falls Arena. The defending state champion Colonels and the Rough Riders.
Mitchell scored 4 quick ones to tie it up in the early stages of the second.
The winner will play Rapid City Stevens as Sanders gets loose. That's a 2.
Sanders had that little hop. When that ball left his fingertips, he had that little shooters, I know it's going in hop.
The rhythm. Back to a 1-point game. Armour down 1, and McNames can't get it to go. Ledabor starts it the other way. Matt Sparks is back in the lineup for Armour. Oh! As Larson goes down hard.
Cruz. Ross Cruz on the bump. Now McNames came over to try to help out defensively, and you see him, number 23, but not before the bump. And Larson got to hit the floor a little hard, but Jeremy was going down already before McNames got there.
Third foul on Ross Cruz. Wouldn't go for Noor. Knocked around. I think it's going to be off the Packers. .240 to play, third quarter. DeSmet up by 1. Bulldogs in the maroon with the ball. Dobson had excellent rhythm going into that one, and he knocks it down. 11 points now for Jeremy Dobson, and it's a 4-point cushion.
4 points has been really the largest swing.
Yep. Ledabor the other way. Gets him back within 1. 5 points in the quarter, 5 total for Austin Ledabor.
Real good flow, real good pace to this game right now.
McNames on the scoop, and he got fouled inside by
Sanders. Brandon Sanders. First in the game for Sanders, but watch the little man scoop underneath there, and to be able to drive through people kind of like that, you need just a strong set of legs, and that's, of course, what Josh McNames has, and you need to be in very good shape because he is constantly running, constantly on the move.
Just a competitor, hard-nosed, just always wants to put the pressure on you.
I think Josh is also an all-state chorus.
6 in the quarter, 12 in the game for McNames.
Just the most impressive thing about Josh, I think, is he just sees the floor and knows where his teammates are so much better than your average player.
Talk about court generals, court leaders, coaches on the floor, and he really is one. You're not going to be able to catch up with that one, though.
Saying hi to the folks who came to the game.
So Armour dodges that bullet, and the Pack down by 3 will start it again. The freshman, Tony Noor. Darren Larson dogs Jeremy Larson out front. Sanders from deep, and he didn't get the good rhythm on that one, and they're going to get a block on Austin Ledebor as Dobson was on the breakout.
I think there's a little bit of probably more act than actual contact on that exchange from Ledebor. Dobson had the ball, and he was moving up court.
As the first round of the Euro to the Final Four rolls on, the Hilltoppers.
Clem Haskins, old school.
Top of Michigan at halftime. First quarter, the Green Wave is top of BYU in that 8-9 seed matchup. And I believe that's Oklahoma State and Drexel. And the Terps leading Gonzaga out west.
Name their most popular alumnus. Well, they've two, one in baseball, one in basketball. No, not in baseball. He didn't go there. Excuse me.
Are you quizzing me?
Yeah.
John Stockton, who are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of a man from Spokane, but he didn't go to Gonzaga. Ryan Sandberg.
Ryan Sandberg. DeSmet up by 3. Dobson falling away, and that was not the shot Martin McCune won, and he was asking, what are you doing on that one?
Trying to pass it, coach. Yeah, hands down low. No doubt at Larson with the foul there. And again, it's a pretty good opportunity to watch Sanders move and score and be very productive all over on the offensive side. He can go anywhere and play. Last year with Ryan Van Zee, he was an outside player. This year, a little bit more inside.
Dobson on the reach in as Tony Noor had him sealed off. And the offensive opportunities, just to follow up on that, just weren't as much last year as for Brandon Sanders. But this year he is the man in the offensive attack. Jason Larson, the errant pass, and this is Dobson on the pushback. It's off of Sanders.
And it's a different offensive attack this year, too. It's more of that motion type style and non-post. Ryan Van Zee was the type of guy that said, Ryan, go to the low box, we'll pass it around until you get open, and then we'll hit you with it. Much different this year for Armour.
Larson out, Ross Cruz in for DeSmet. The Bulldogs up by 3, 30 seconds to play. Third quarter.
Josh will be able to stay out there all day.
Dribble on that beautiful new floor at the Barnett Center.
First year for that floor.
That's a scary defensive assignment. And Jason Peters rather, was up to the task. And at the end of 3, it's the Bulldogs on top of the Pack by 3, 45-42, back with the fourth after this.
behind every basket, every touchdown, every player, and every team is hard work, determination, sweat, and pain. Toshiba America Information Systems in Mitchell salutes the effort, the persistence, and the spirit of South Dakota's young athletes.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Ice cold milk. Help yourself. Cold drinks are like basketball players. They can be tall, they can be smooth, but it takes a great one to dunk. Ice cold milk. Help yourself. Brought to you by your local dairy farmers.
Those Kello cameras set up by the Kello crew, and we're glad to bring you this State B Championship weekend. Eureka, Tulare, and Emory have earned their way onto Kelloland TV tomorrow night as we'll bring you the semifinals. One more entrant in the semis to be determined. Armour.
And we don't know who it is yet.
Braylon DeSmet. We've got 8 minutes to find out, as the Bulldogs lead it by 3 to start the fourth.
As we start the fourth, the AA has just gotten to halftime. Roosevelt 28, Mitchell 21. 28-21 Roosevelt.
Dobson a little better rhythm on that one, and the three opens up a 6-point lead now for DeSmet.
Biggest of the game. Last two baskets by Dobson have been three-pointers, right?
Yes, back-to-back, 14 for Jeremy. Jason Peters triggers it into Austin Ledabor. 7:30, and they got
poked away. McNames. And a foul by Peters as Hind was still on the floor, I think, but still McNames with another foul, or another steal. Boy, he's, what, close to 8 in the game? Ones that he has caused anyway.
Went over and told Marv McKeon, I should have taken that one in myself, but the unselfish McNames gives it up to Hind, who will go to the line.
And McNames prefers the pass to the shot.
Austin Ledabor checks out. Chris Peters back in for Armour with those 4 fouls. As Barry Hind puts himself in double figures, 10 now for the senior. And all of a sudden, DeSmet has run out to an 8-point lead, 50-42.
Because of defense. 16 turnovers through 3 quarters for Armour.
Knocked away by Hind. Jeremy Larson, who had the great first half, has been pretty quiet second half. Yet to score in the second half. He had 10 before the break. 9 for 3.
Oh, all over the place.
Nice dish and Dannenbring. Gives DeSmet a 10-point lead.
Attack. You need a basket. Armour needs a hoop. It was only a 3-point game just a minute and 20 seconds ago, or 2:20 ago.
And again, the turnover that Bernal Glanzer had dreaded.
Up
and there's the charge. Jason Peters stepped in and took it.
Goes against Hind. Coach Glanzer wants a timeout.
6:30 to play in the fourth. It's a 10-point game now.
My dream is to be a professional football punter for the Dallas Cowboys.
Vern Halter knows dreams. His is to win the Iditarod. Last spring, Norwest sponsored Vern's tour of elementary schools across the state. In gymnasiums big and small, he shared his dream with thousands of students. And they shared their dreams with him.
I'd like to be a country singer.
Nothing is impossible if someone, somewhere, believes in you.
Say yes to Express. Express Communications, a long-distance company created by South Dakotans for South Dakotans. Today, Express serves over 80,000 customers statewide, utilizing South Dakota's only fiber optic network. Express Communications, delivering clear, dependable long-distance service and keeping your dollars at home where they can help all of us. Say yes to Express.
It's your company.
We'll take a look at the Norwest stat board through 3 quarters, and the one I want you to check out before you look at anything else is way to the right side. DeSmet has doubled the turnover ratio, and Coach Glanzer harped on it a little bit at halftime. When they turn the ball over, you don't get any offensive flow, and DeSmet gets points. Armour has more field goals, 3 more field goals, but those turnovers have made the difference, and DeSmet with a 7-point edge at the free throw line.
And there's a little turnabout finally for Chris Peters. He makes McNames pick up the foul on the block. Second foul on Josh McNames. Ledeboy with the presence of mind to pick it up. Here's the hoop, but it's brought out by Dobson, and they're going to get him for the foul, or the travel rather. It up. The save is good by Dobson, and the Bulldogs come away with it. They want to push as always. Hine with the pull-up. And Hine with the bucket. 12-point DeSmet lead. They have made the run here in the fourth. 54-42. There's the time remaining, fourth quarter.
What's unusual about Barry Hine is that he generally hits more three-pointers than 2. He's only got the 1 3-pointer, but 13 in the game.
We talked a little bit about it before. The character on the team is Barry Hine. Tell us about this commercials that Barry Hine makes.
But you know those the ones, the shoe commercials that Dennis Hopper does, making a big deal about wow, I'm holding somebody's shoe. Well, he does that with Josh McNames, because McNames has had most of the press, and he's the top player on the team. He'll go, I'm holding McNames' shoe. Or, it's a pathetic attempt at being Dennis Hopper, but I hope you get the gist of the character of Barry Hine. That was a pathetic attempt, wasn't it, Tom?
I thought it was pretty close, actually.
Oh,
Jeremy
really?
Larson, first 2 of the second half, gets it back within 10 now for the Packers. They're down 54-44, 5:40 to play. Fourth quarter, Dannenbring baseline. McNames, 15 now for Josh McNames.
So I can quit this gig and start doing commercials? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. The truck says I better keep my day job.
Austin Ledeboy. Did they count the hoop?
It should count. The basket, yeah, the basket will count. That's a 3-pointer. And the foul was against Dannenbring.
Ledeboy the 3-pointer.
Okay, so the 3-point goes in. Look for number 15 for pushing underneath. That was where the foul was. So you saw the left arm come down to the foul. Call was made, and goes against Adam Dannenbring.
His third, so Larson goes back to the line where he's 3 for 3 now in the fourth quarter. That 3 cut the lead to 7, the 2 free throws.
That's a flat, really a 5-point play.
The 2 free throws cut the lead to 7. 5 minutes and 5 seconds to play. Barry Hine from 18 feet, and Barry's starting to feel it a little bit.
Boy, after struggling in that first half, it has to feel pretty good for Hine to get a couple of shooters rolls like that one, and they got 15 now.
15 for Hine. This is Jeremy Larson, who's starting to heat back up a little bit. 6 quick ones for Larson, 16 in the game.
That 3-pointer from Ledeboy on the foul is the only other basket for Armour. Otherwise, it's been Larson's show here in the fourth.
They were down 12 just not even a minute ago. Back to a 7-point game with 4.5 to play. Peters will push it up to Sanders, which should be an easy 2. Brandon with 19. Armour calls the timeout. And it's back to a 5-point game, 58-53.
Now there are 1,000 reasons to buy a Ford Windstar. For a limited time, get $1,000 cash back when you buy or lease a Windstar. That's $1,000 cash back on the minivan with the largest V6 engine, plus dual airbags, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and front-wheel drive. And right now, qualified buyers may get an additional $750 bonus for total cash back up to $1,750. See your Northland Ford dealer for details today.
Things have changed since 1965. Time and progress march on. And though the land hasn't changed, how you work it has. But one thing has stood the test of time. Banvel. It's still the broadleaf herbicide for corn, for control that lasts from spike to canopy. Sure, things change in 30 years. Banvel just hasn't needed to. Banvel. 30 years, and still the best.
Chris Peters doing the work, the sophomore in the defensive glass after the nice miss, or the look, I should say, by Dobson. But there, the look ahead, the pass ahead, and Sanders lays it in. He has got 19 points in the game, and what quickly was a double-digit lead is now closed.
It was 12. It's now 5, 58-53. Check your NCAA scores as Dannenbring puts himself at 10 for the ball game. Back to 7 is the lead at 60-53. The Cowboys leading Drexel early. Chris Peters again, and they're going to get
the block. And Darren Larson. Burnell and Marver kind of giving each other a couple of looks down here. It's kind of fun watching the coaches.
The basket counted for Chris Peters, so will shoot the 3-point attempt. But it's taken down by Dannenbring. That cuts the lead to 5 with 3:45 to play. And the calls have been consistent.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
So McNames, with that 5-point lead, will try to run a little patient offense. This is Darren Larson to McNames. Ross Cruz is on the bench right now for DeSmet with 4 fouls. That's a dangerous pass taken away by Tony Knorr and taken right back by McNames, taken back by McNorr.
And McNames just fouled Knorr to not give up the easy 2. Boy, that thing was a wild foul. That just almost steps on it. It hits the heel of Dannenbring and pops right back to the freshman, and McNames just says, hey, I'll take the foul. Let's stop this craziness and go to the line.
But back at the other end to start all that. Nice anticipation by Tony Knorr to get out in the passing lane. It was a little bit of a lazy pass, and he picked it off.
The freshman Knorr leads Armour in free throw shooting percentage. 74.
5 points it stays at for Tony Knorr. But he gets the pack back within 4. 3 minutes to play, 4th quarter. The winner of this one will face Emory tomorrow night in the semifinals. DeSmet trying to work a little clock now. McNames from 16, no, and it's corralled by Chris Peters. So the Packers can cut into that 4-point lead with a hoop here. Bob to Sanders, wide open underneath.
That ball
21 for Brandon.
That thing was almost going out of bounds, and Sanders pulled it back and had to pull the ball almost behind his head to flip it in.
DeSmet wants a timeout. They're hanging on. 2:28 to play in the fourth.
Looking for the right doctor? Dakota Care offers more freedom of choice from over 98% of the state's physicians. Dakota Care, proven performance in managed care. Yes, we still have our ducks in a row.
Say yes to Express. Express Communications, a long-distance company created by South Dakotans for South Dakotans. Today, Express serves over 80,000 customers statewide, utilizing South Dakota's only fiber optic network. Express Communications, delivering clear, dependable long-distance service and keeping your dollars at home where they can help all of us. Say yes to Express.
It's your company.
Here's that last exchange. And, I thought the thing when it left the hand of the passer was going out, and this one hand up there from Sanders. So Sanders takes the right to control it, and then underneath had to hold it off to the side a little bit to pop it up and in. With 21 points now for Brandon Sanders. 3 shy of his average, but the way this game is going, he's far and away the leading scorer.
2 minutes, 28 seconds up on the clock. And it's time to say in regulation, I think.
Yeah, I think that might be safe, huh?
A 2-point lead, 60 to 58. There's what we have left to play in regulation. McNames on the drive, a little stop and go. Nice move, but it's a little hard. But there is Darren Larson. 4-point DeSmet advantage. Larson with 4. Sanders.
A nice
Larson
defense,
got a
too.
piece of that one.
Larson, I think he lost track of Sanders, but Sanders got the ball just a little bit too slow in that shooting spot. Sanders was able to find where he was and then get back in a good defensive spot.
If you want to run a little clock, this is the guy to have out there. .130 to play. DeSmet by 4. McNames makes it 6.
No one stopped him. No one came up to help.
6-point lead for DeSmet. 1:15 on the clock, fourth quarter.
McNames
is going to be number 4 on Josh McNames.
Well, one of the disadvantages of playing from behind, like Armour has done and done extremely well here, is that when you use your run and use all that effort to catch back up, it's tough to keep it going for that extra 2, 3, or 4 minute period that you need to carry out and get the lead and hold that lead through the end of the game.
Jeremy Larson has been perfect from the line in the fourth. 5 out of 5, so he'll get the bonus. And he cuts the lead back down to 4 at 64-60. And the Packer defense causes a turnover.
Timeout. Bulldogs want a time to talk over the last 72 seconds. Well, what a really, nice isn't the right word, but it just a nice
enjoyable
comeback
game to watch here.
By Armour.
Just as the DeSmet defense has led to a lot of their offense, the Packers have stayed close and made runs at that DeSmet lead with their defense.
You can see how much on that replay that Coach Planzer is into this game, as he is every game. And that's a look at the DeSmet huddle and the Bulldog cheerleaders. Roosevelt was leading Mitchell at the half. That game should be going again now, but Roosevelt was up by 7. And we're getting an update. Oh, nice run by the Colonels. The Colonels have come back to close it to just 2. It's 33-31.
But back to the matter at hand. It's a 4-point DeSmet lead, 64-60. There's 1 minute 12 seconds up on the clock, fourth quarter. The Packers, who had just caused the turnover underneath the DeSmet hoop, will trigger it in with Ledabor to Chris Peters. Josh McNames playing with those 4 fouls for DeSmet, and Peters up on the rim and gets the roll, cuts it to a 2-point lead. That's the time remaining in the ball game. It's 64-62. DeSmet hanging on. Dobson rather.
Ooh, almost.
And McNames are going to have to get it across the line here. And there is Josh McNames at his best. He finds Barry Hine.
Sweet pass to Hine. Set it up.
4-point lead for DeSmet. Larson on the drive, gets his own rebound.
It'll be over the back. Cruz will be over the back. It'll be the 5th on Cruz.
So with 26 seconds to play, clock stops as Brandon Sanders will go to the free throw line. There's a good look at the junior, Ross Cruz.
41 over the top of 42. That's Cruz and Sanders banging away on the boards.
Cruz fouls out with 4 points. And Adam Dannenbring will go to the table to check back in. Brandon Sanders waiting at the free throw line to shoot the 1-and-1. Armour down by 4, 26 seconds left. Sanders with 21 to this point, and that was a big miss. Brought down by Darren Larson. And they'll put it in McName's hands and let him do it. And the foul is on Sanders.
That's good play. If you don't make the free throw, you have to stop the clock. That's the play you need to make.
Good look at the 5'9" senior. Squirt is the nickname. So McName's a 71% shooter on the season. 1 in the bonus.
I think Josh's great-grandfather, Corliss Johnson, is watching, recovering. He's been sick, 90 years old, watching down in Mitchell. His nickname, Corliss, is Short, and Josh's is Squirt. End of the third quarter now. Roosevelt back up by 7, Tom.
End of the fourth quarter here, and DeSmet back up by 6. McName's with 6 in the quarter, 19 in the game. There's your tally. 21 seconds up on the clock. Marv McCune just wants to make sure that the timeout situation after the game. We will rejoin Pat O'Brien and the CBS crew on the road to the Final Four. Get you caught up on what has happened today around the nation in the NCAA tournament. That will be followed by Kelloland News at 10 with Steve Hemmingson and Angela Kennecke. And then you MASH fans will get your fix. After that, all coming up after the game. The Bulldog fans thinking maybe they've got this one where they won it 68-62. DeSmet leading, 21 seconds left. Take care of the basketball is what Marv McCune is telling the kids.
I think he would be best to say just all other for you. Give it to Josh. That'd be the easiest way to wrap that up, huh?
Armour has just chipped away and hung in there and stayed close. They have not had the lead since late in there, early in the second quarter. Sanders for 3, not going to go. Get his own rebound.
2 good looks, but didn't go. And
Chris
Armour needs
Peters.
a 3.
Short Ledabor is going to get it to go, but with just 6 seconds left on the clock now. Still a 4-point bulge for DeSmet. Austin Ledabor with 10 now. But time is running short. 6 seconds left.
You need 2 possessions. That's the hard part. That's the hardest part for Coach Glanzer right now is with 6 seconds, you need 2 possessions. 4 points with that 3-point play is the magic number now.
Or we've seen it sparingly over the course of the season. The 4-point play, the 3-point shot where you get fouled. But don't count on Marvin McHugh not mentioning that in the huddle right now.
Scenario,
don't foul anybody on a 3.
After, well, we saw 2 last week, 2 4-point plays. Marco and I did out at the State A.
Doug Brown from Red Cloud, I can recall one of them.
I think Jesse LeBeau had the other one.
Six ticks left. DeSmet up by 4. Look for the instant foul as soon as it's inbounded.
Dobson has the opportunity to move if he wants it.
Barry Hine will go back to the free throw line. Fouls on Chris Peters.
That's the game. Hine has played well and scored well, especially in the second half. Barry couldn't have felt too good about the 5 points he had at halftime, but really Josh McNames on the defensive side, I think, is what helped turn it around. He had a bunch of steals in this game, and McNames kind of picked up his scoring in the second half, too.
Barry Hine with 17 thus far. He's a 73% free throw shooter, best on the team. 18 now for Barry. 5-point lead, 4 seconds left. And DeSmet is going to go on and play the Emory Eagles tomorrow night. That's going to do it in our 4th and quarterfinal game at the Big B tournament. DeSmet will move on with a 70-64 win over the gallant Armour Packers. They hung in there, could not get over the hump. So Marv McHugh's team will move on and play Chris Jensen and Emory tomorrow night. Eureka and Tulare, the other semifinal game. And Lee Timmerman has the player of the game. Squirt is standing by. Lee, what's he have to say?
Well, Josh McNames, I thought defensively and a lot of the steals you helped create really got the momentum going on your side. When you got Armour into a few turnovers, you guys started to flow, didn't you?
Well, our defense really had to crank it up tonight. Our shots weren't going out early, so yeah, we got a few tip balls in the first half that kind of kept us in the game since our shooting percentage is so bad. But overall, I guess it turned out pretty well.
And you go into tomorrow night. That's last year you had a championship from the B, but it had a consolation in front of it. So this means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, this will be our second game against Emory, and it'll be a tough game. Chris Jansen's a heck of a ball player. We'll have to come out, hopefully can contain him a little bit, get some easy breaks, and then see what happens, I guess.
All right, congratulations, Josh.
Thanks a lot.
Josh McNames, his team wins and moves on. We'll be back to the B to wrap things up in a moment.
Championship 95, the Boys State B Basketball Championship, is sponsored by your Community Norwest Bank, Norwest to the nth degree. Your local Northland Ford dealer. East River Electric Cooperative and its 26 member systems. Toshiba America Information Systems Incorporated. Farm Bureau, where